Hey everyone, what's up? Yeah, I've got about a few minutes maybe before my mom shows up, so I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. Hopefully, we're not rambling. Uh, I wanted to kind of talk about the upcoming season 7 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic and how it could be the last season. Now, I've gone on record and said why I've become a fan and a brony, not necessarily because I watch the episodes weekly or religiously. I don't. But I do have all complete 5 seasons on DVD, and I have the series on my Netflix queue. So I can watch it at any time that I want at my leisure, which I'm sure a lot of fans do who don't watch the episodes religiously on a weekly basis due to the fact that they have other family issues, or they have work, or they have school. So, with that said, I want to look at season 7. Now, rumors going around that season 7 could be the last season. The reason being is because it's being released in the spring of 2017, which is also the same year that the movie comes out in October of that year. Season 7 is going to come out in spring of 2017, but later on that year in October, you will have the movie coming out. Now, the reason some people feel that this could be the final season is due to the fact that a lot of the budget is going into 3 different directions. You've got the season 7 episodes, which are, depending on the length, about 13 to mostly 26 episodes a season. This looks like it could be 26. We don't know yet, but more than likely it could be 26. And then you have the movie itself, which could connect or not connect with said season. And then you have a possible 5th Equestria Girls film on the way due to the fact that the end of the more recent one, Legend of Everfree, alluded to a possible 5th movie, which in theory could finally be a crossover between the pony version of Equestria and the human version of Equestria. So there's that possibility as well. Now, sorry, my finger hit the mic there. Now, with that said, I want to give you my thoughts and opinions, my speculation on what I feel they need to do for season 7. I think with season 7, they need to answer a lot of questions fans have had that they want answered. And they also basically need to resolve some plot holes that have been left behind. Well, not plot holes, but issues that fans feel need to be resolved. So here's what I would do if I was them. 1, I would answer the question about Sunset Shimmer. A lot of fans have been asking and speculating, is Sunset Shimmer ever going to come back? Is she going to be back? Is she going to come back as a pony, or is she just stuck as a human? Some might say that maybe she's becoming more human because, of her wondering, not to give much away, but wondering where the magic in the cave in the Legend of Everfree came from. Some might be thinking that, but you would think she would realize, okay, maybe there's a connection. So, we don't know. But the question would be, but I think in season 7 they need to answer that question. Is she going to come back in some shape or form? And I think honestly they need to bring her back for season 7. They need to have her redeem herself fully in season 7 so she can come back as a pony. That's the way I look at it. And I think anybody watching would agree. As a pony, alicorn, whatever. I think everybody would agree with that. Now, another thing I think they need to answer is the romance. Now, we know in Equestria Girls that's one of the main targetings, if you will. But we need to have that answered here. Do the main 6 or some of the main 6 get love interest? Will Pinkie Pie be with Cheese Sandwich officially? Will Spike and Rarity, which I would hope for, and I'm sure a lot of fans want and hope for, is that going to happen? Will Rainbow Dash end up with Saurian? Will there be some kind of romantic feelings between Discord and Fluttershy? You know, crazy as that sounds. Will Twilight meet a Flash Sentry there? You know, those are questions that need to be answered. And season 7 is the best opportunity, if it's the last season, for the creators, for Megan, for the people involved to answer those questions. And I think season 7, if it's the last season, as some are speculating, is the best time to do it. Another thing is we need to find out the history of Celestia and Luna and Cadance. Well, not just Cadance, because I think Cadance went through the same thing that Twilight did. So I would think we need to learn more about Luna and Celestia's origins. So I think what needs to be done is they need to dedicate an episode, whether it's at the beginning, towards the end, or right in the middle. They need to dedicate an episode where we find out how Luna and Celestia came to be. Because you can't just have them at the beginning of this season acknowledge that they've never seen the birth of an alicorn. You need to give us background information on how they became alicorns and how they became as immortal as they are. You need to give some kind of origin on that. And that's one thing they need to do with season 7, if this is the last season. That's what they need to do is focus on that. Another thing as well, speaking of the immortality, a lot of people like to bring up in the theory videos, you need to answer the other question. Will Twilight outlive her friends, or will her friends, because of the connection with her through the elements of harmony, will they end up becoming immortal, just like she's probably immortal now, or will Twilight outlive them? That's the question. And I think it's also a question you need to ask about Cadance. So I think if you're going to answer the question for Twilight, you need to answer it for Cadance. You need to answer the question whether or not both of them will outlive their friends, and in Cadance's case, her husband and her child. Will Flurry Heart also outlive her dad? I don't know. These are questions this is a question fans have been wanting answered, and season 7 provides the best opportunity for it to be answered. So I think it needs to happen. It needs to occur. Another thing that I think needs to happen as well is a fusion, a merger, if you will. And what I mean by a fusion and a merger, I'm talking about the fact that, you have all these elements of power that sometimes most of the main 6 get a hold of, that empower them with their special abilities. So I think what needs to happen is you need to dedicate several episodes in season 7 to this prospect of a fusion. In other words, do episodes where 2 of the main 6, one episode at a time, fuse into one pony, one alicorn pony or something like that, with a combination of their abilities, if not some of their powers. That's what you need to do. You need to do that. Dedicate an episode where Fluttershy and Rarity fuse together, and they become Flutterarity or Rarity Shy or something like that. Same with Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash become Pinkie Dash or Rainbow Pie. Applejack and Twilight become Apple Sparkle or Twilight Jack or whatever. Do an episode where this happens. Dedicate some episodes where that happens, where they fuse together to become one, where they fuse, like I said, dedicate several episodes to 2 of them fusing together to become one, then separating, of course, but, discovering that not only do the powers combine and the abilities combine, but the personalities combine to become one. And also, as you lead towards what I would consider a good way, a best way to end the series and the season, and that's have all 6 fused together into one powerful alicorn to defeat whatever enemy or threat comes to Equestria overall. And you need to also do an episode where Luna and Celestia, and maybe even Cadance, because maybe she's learned the ability before, as soon as she became an alicorn, or and Princess of the Crystal Kingdom, you need to basically dedicate one of those episodes leading towards that ultimate fusion and merger between the six. You need to, dedicate an episode, maybe the finale, where Luna, Cadance, and Celestia kind of show them that they've known about the ability, and even, showcase that same ability, basically do something to where they acknowledge they've known about the ability, and then even have them visually show as an example to the main six that they've been able to do it themselves in the past, as by having all three of them, Cadance, Luna, and Celestia, merge together into one. And maybe even have them take turns as well to merge together, just two at a time, like Cadance with Luna, Luna with Celestia, Celestia with Cadance, and then have all three of them combined together to kind of give the girls an idea of how it works and everything, and then go from there. Especially if you're going to have all six combined together into one, and for a ultimate fusion, like let's say in the series finale or season 7 finale or series finale, whatever you want to call it, have them, like I say, merge together, in the ultimate fusion in the finale for season 7, if not for the series, against whatever great threat or evil threatens Equestria. I think it would work, and I think fans would appreciate it. And in a sense, have it be the result. And you know what? If you really want to, throw a twist in there, have the fusion, have the result of the fusion, have the ending result of the fusion when they separate, have the ending result being all the girls, basically the other 5 of the main 6, end up becoming alicorns out of that, and basically because they're now alicorns, that they are basically now immortal, just like Twilight. There you go. You answer that question right there. But again, that's just something I would like to see, and I'm sure a lot of fans would like to see it as well. Another thing as well, it's just a personal idea of mine, is I would like to see the lustful milk gag happen. And what I mean by the lustful milk gag is I would like to see the characters of, whether it's Pinkie, Applejack, Rarity, or Rainbow Dash, or even Twilight, if you will, or maybe even Fluttershy. I'd like to see one of them, if not a few of them, when they get attracted towards a handsome male pony who might come up to them and compliment them on the beauty or the quirkiness or something like that, have that main 6 pony or ponies melt into a puddle of goo. Have them melt into a puddle with only the face sticking up. I mean, with only the face showing in the puddle, and then kind of have them reform. I mean, heck, if you can have Pinkie Pie take off like a freaking rocket, have her fall apart at the excitement that she was able to keep a secret, then I think you can do this, and I think season 7 would be the best episode to do a lustful milk egg, with one or few of the main 6 ponies melting into a puddle of goo at the attraction of a male pony and maybe the compliment from said male pony. I'm just saying. So I think some episodes need to have that in season 7 if season 7's the finale. That's just my personal preference. Overall, my suggestion overall, besides those, and I think anybody else listening would agree, is for the creators just to go all out, put all their eggs in one basket, do what they have to do. But I would suggest listen to the fans for your final season. Listen to the suggestions and ideas that they give you at several conventions you may go to, and incorporate said suggestions. If you can incorporate OC characters, fans' OC characters into the show just for a cameo, then I think this is the best. Then I think taking season 7 and dedicating it truly to the fans as you lead into the movie is the best way to do it. So those are my suggestions and ideas, in my opinion, of what they should do with season 7, or what they should put into season 7. Now, we know that during season 7, we're also going to get an Equestria Girls movie, right? Now, apparently, some people have uploaded clips of the film on various uploading sites. So I will say this. Apparently, not to give much away, the ending of Everfree showed that the magic in the cave was coming from the portal that led to the pony version of Equestria. So I think that if they're going to do an Equestria Girls movie, which could be the last one in the series, it's a 5th one, so it's going to probably be the last one, then I would suggest making the finale a crossover. In other words, finally have the human main 6 or 7, or basically the human main 6 meet the pony version of themselves once and for all. Hasbro, sorry, my finger hit the mic again. But Hasbro, you like to release toys with both the human and pony versions of said character. I think this is the best opportunity for you guys to capitalize on that with the 5th and probably final Equestria Girls film. Do a crossover between all the characters, the human and pony versions, and kind of give some acknowledgement. Maybe acknowledge that Sunset Shimmer, because of the fact, and again, this can answer your Sunset Shimmer question, how she comes back as a pony. Maybe you answer the question, maybe the question is answered of, why is magic suddenly coming into this human world, this human version of Equestria. Probably have the question answered basically by having them realize the pony version of Celestia, the Alicorn version of Celestia, and Luna, and maybe even Twilight. Maybe what I'm trying to say is maybe have them realize that the reason a lot of this magic and a lot of this stuff coming from the pony version of Equestria is happening is because Sunset is in the human world when she should be in Ponyville. That she's in the human version of Equestria as a human, and instead she should be back to balance it out and basically make sure none of this happens again. She needs to go back to Ponyville and back to the pony version of the pony world of Equestria and remain there. I think that should probably be one of the centerpieces of the 5th and possibly final Equestria Girls movie, is not only do you finally cross over and have both versions of the main 6 meet each other, have the human version of Celestia meet the pony version of her, and same with Luna and Cadance, but have them acknowledge and realize that the reason the magic is seeping into the world, it ties to Sunset Shimmer, who is basically not a real human. She's basically a pony turned into a human that needs to go back to Ponyville and remain there for things to balance out. And then what you can do, just like you did with Twilight, maybe you can introduce an actual Sunset Shimmer an actual human version of Sunset Shimmer that would help balance things out. Or do something to kind of acknowledge that that's the reason. Now, I'm not saying that's what they need to do, but to me it makes the most sense. Make them realize that because Sunset Shimmer is an actual pony, that's one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, things are happening, and she basically needs to go back to set things right. She needs to put that balance back to normal to set things right. She needs to go back to Ponyville, back to Equestria as a pony, a unicorn, an alicorn, whatever you want to call it, and set things right. So that's what I think needs to happen. And I think that needs to be what happens. In my opinion, I think that needs to be the plot point, or one of the plot points for the 5th and probably final Equestria Girl movie. In my opinion, that's what needs to happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. But if there is a 5th and final Equestria Girls film, that needs to be the centerpiece. The crossover between the pony version of the main 6 and the human versions finally meeting, as well, like I said, the human and pony versions of Celestia and Luna and Cadence finally meeting. Have that happen, but also have that crossover come to be because not only of the magic seeping in from Equestria to the human world, but also in my opinion, have the real reason be due to the fact that Sunset Shimmer is a pony, basically have it center on Sunset Shimmer and the fact that she's a pony, disguised as a human in a human world, and that the only way for things to set themselves right again and for these portals and stuff to stop opening is to come back to Ponyville. I think that's the best way to do it. It's the best way to do it in my opinion. So that's all really I'm going to say on what I believe season 7 should be and what I think they should do with season 7 in my opinion, with my suggestions, and what I believe they should do with a 5th and final Equestria Girls film. So let me know if you